World War I, often called the Great War, was one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. It lasted from July 28, 1914, to November 11, 1918, and involved many of the world's great powers. These nations formed two main alliances: the Allies, which included France, Britain, Russia, Italy, and later the United States, and the Central Powers, primarily Germany, Austria-Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, and Bulgaria. Causes of the war. The causes of World War I were complex and intertwined. Among the main reasons were nationalism. Growing pride and competition among nations created tension. Militarism. Countries were building up massive armies and weapons. Alliances. Entangling agreements promised mutual defense, pulling many nations into conflict. Imperialism. The struggle for overseas colonies increased rivalry among the powers. The spark. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary on June 28, 1914, by a Serbian nationalist set off a chain reaction of declarations of war. Life during the war. The war introduced a new kind of brutal warfare, known as trench warfare, especially on the Western Front. Soldiers lived in muddy, rat-infested trenches under constant threat of enemy attacks and chemical weapons like mustard gas. New technologies such as tanks, airplanes, and machine guns made the war even more devastating. Meanwhile, civilians faced food shortages, bombings, and the trauma of losing millions of young men to front lines. Global involvement. Though it started in Europe, World War I quickly became a global conflict. Battles were fought in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Colonies provided soldiers and resources. In 1917, the United States entered the war on the side of the Allies, bringing fresh troops and tipping the balance. The end of the war. The Central Powers began to weaken in 1918. Revolution shook Austria-Hungary and the Ottoman Empire, while Germany faced internal unrest. On November 11, 1918, Germany signed an armistice agreement, ending the fighting. The war officially concluded with the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. The treaty placed heavy blame and harsh penalties on Germany, sowing seeds of resentment that would later contribute to World War II. The aftermath. World War I reshaped the world. Empires collapsed, including the Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, Russian, and German empires. New countries emerged, such as Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia. The League of Nations was established in an attempt to prevent future wars, though it ultimately failed. The war left a lasting impact on art, literature, and politics, with a lost generation of writers expressing the disillusionment of the post-war world.